cemetery is best because you're not only honoring death, but you're honoring life. You can't honor one or without the other. I feel like that's with everything. It's just balance. And I was going to show you the book I was reading right now, but it's holding up my phone, so I can't. But back to Deviant Witchery, I guess. I kind of keep getting sidetracked. Because, well, okay, no, technically. Okay, well, back to Deviant Witchery and the cemetery. They were talking about cemetery magic. And that, to me, is a topic that I love. I love anything about the cemetery and about spirits, about death, anything. But yeah, because the book I'm working on is called Walking the Twilight Path, a Gothic Book of the Dead. I think it is a great book, especially for beginners, if you're going to be working with the dark, with the dead, and it definitely teaches you not just to work with the dead, but work with the life of everything. Work with life, sorry, not with the life, sorry. It was like I said, you can't honor one without the other, you know. Everything has an end, and we have death throughout our life, not just by other people dying, but death of a transition. When you move from one job to the next, that is a death of a part of your life. It is death of one thing to be reborn and grow into something else. And so I think, you know, death is something that we should definitely honor throughout our entire lives, because it is very important, because it's it's one of the three great mysteries: birth, life, and death. And I feel like, you know, if you're not honoring and integrating yourself with the energy of death, then you're not going to able to integrate yourself properly with the energies of anything else. It's a balance thing. You cannot have one without the other. And the same thing, if you're just completely enfolded, encompassing in death, you're not experiencing the beauty and the love of life, then, you know, that's not good either. So you need to have that balance. And that is something that I am trying to work on personally, is balance. And I feel like I am very off balance at times, and I'm not completely grounded, and I'm not completely one with myself and my emotions or my sensitivity, because that, I feel that with my empathy, it makes me off track. Like with my gifts, I'm not as able to connect with the other realms and my spirit self sometimes, because I'm not grounded or as balanced as I should be. I hold grudges sometimes and resentments, and I need to work on that as myself, so I can be more one with the other realms. I used to be, when I was younger, spirits and, you know, all that. I was just like, my gifts, like, I would see things, I would know things, and as I got older and I was doing things I wasn't supposed to be, I'd have said this like 1,000 times, but so now I'm trying to really work on it, especially for this time of year. The veils are thin. This is the new year. It's, you know, it's a great time to work on what you're trying to get rid of and what you're trying to bring out. And so that's something I really want to do. I did my altar, redid it a little bit. Okay, but back to cemetery magic. I'm sorry. Cemetery is a great place to do any kind of magic, but you need to remember, before you do anything, you need to ask permission from whichever spirit or whichever grave that you want to use, or whatever. If you're even doing that, or even if you're just using the outskirts of the cemetery, you need to have permission, and you need to offer something to the gatekeeper. Because if you don't, they're gonna fuck your ass up, because that is very disrespectful. How would you like it if somebody came into your house and said, oh, I'm going to use something right here, but didn't give you anything in return, or didn't even ask permission? You would be pissed. So you need to remember that when it comes to death, and it comes to the dead and the spirits, you need to have respect, because I personally do not feel like they are not going to help you. They are not going to do anything for you if you do not respect them. That's just obvious. I mean, it's common courtesy. Like, you know, people, everyday people have, like, in my opinion, have completely fucking forgot common courtesy. Like, it is something that nobody even realizes is a thing anymore. Like, I work as a receptionist, and you have no idea how many people I have to deal with who are just ignorant. Just flat out ignorant. Sorry, I'm not trying to whisper, but my daughter's over there. I don't want her hearing me cuss. But, so, especially when you're working with the dead, because you gotta remember, they don't have the same rules that we do. They don't go to jail. You know, like, I mean, they're gonna F you up, and you can't exactly call the police on them. Like, what are they gonna do? So, I mean, but I know, like, I'm joking around, but I'm being serious. Like, you really do need to have respect. You need to know your shit. You need to know what you're doing, what you're getting yourself into, because if you go in there with an ignorant attitude, and I'm not saying you need to be, like, all shy and squeaky and, like, pitiful, like, oh, because then they're probably going to look at you like you're stupid. You need to be confident in yourself. You need to know what you're doing, and you need to know your shit. But you need to have respect. You can be both. You can do both. Trust me, you can. So, sorry. But with cemetery magic, it can be done for anything. Hexing, cursing, healing, friendship, love. I mean, there. If you've looked in Dorothy Morrison's Utterly Wicked, she has dirt from all different places that we can use, but even dirt from different places in the graveyard that can be used. A child's grave can be used for one thing. A murderer's grave can be used for one thing. But I am going to forewarn you, using a murderer or a serial killer's grave, dirt, and calling on their spirit is not the best idea. It is not something that I am saying anybody should do, because it's not smart, especially if you don't know what you're doing. That is not something that I would do, especially not right now. Who knows further down the road, but I mean, it's not something I plan on doing anytime soon, because you should not conjure something you cannot get rid of. Just flat out. I'm saying I wouldn't be able to get rid of it, but it's just, you know, I am still learning, you know, like we all still are learning, but right now I'm still learning as much as I can about spirits and working with graveyard dirt and working with everything. Like, that is something I'm really, like, putting myself in there deep, and but it's, you know, until I am, like, way more experienced, I do not plan on doing that. Just because you gotta be smart, you know, like, flat out. Oh, and there is one thing else I wanted to talk about, now that I think about it. I almost forgot. They were talking about corpse juices and skunk spray. You know, like when a skunk gets mad, their anal glands, they spray them out. They were talking about, okay, but there's, I don't know, I mean, I'm sure a lot of people know this, especially if you have dogs. I work at a vet's office, I'm a receptionist at the vet's office. All animals have anal glands, like a skunk. Like, you know, they have that spray. But skunks are the only one who are able to really control the spraying. When a dog's anal glands are full, they do the scooting. You know, they scoot. It's your anal glands and the dog, like, it's gross, but they're like giant pimples that need to be popped, and it sprays out all this nasty, disgusting spray shit. So dogs and cats both have it too, just like a skunk does. So if that is something you are seriously wanting to use in your practice, you don't have to go find a skunk. Like, I'm not suggesting you stick your hand up your dog's asshole, but dogs and cats have them too. And most of the time, they can clear them out themselves. When you see a dog scooting his butt, that means his anal glands are full. Cats will do the same thing too. The cats, it's a little bit more different, because the cat won't be able to poop, because it's going to hurt when they're full, like they're full, and it's hard for them to go to the bathroom. But when you see a dog doing that, if you really do decide that you want something like that, you know, nasty spray or whatever, you know, I'm not going to give you any ideas on how to get it, because I personally would not do that. But if that's something you really wanted to do, you don't have to go find a skunk, is all I'm saying. You can wait till your dog's anal glands are full, and when he starts scooting his butt around the floor, you know that they're full, and hopefully he can get it himself, and you can just clear it up off the floor. But, I mean, that's completely up to you. I'm just saying that there are other animals, pretty much all animals have anal glands, and they all have that. So, yeah. Just putting it out there so you know. So, I mean, so you don't have to torture yourself trying to find a skunk. But like I said, I'm not suggesting that you do that. I mean, you do need a professional to clear the anal glands. I mean, if the dog can't get it itself, because you could end up hurting the animal. So I would not suggest doing that at all. That's not a very smart idea. And it's just kind of gross. Like, you know, I work at a vet's office, and I still wouldn't stick my hand up a dog's butt. I mean, when I become a tech, I'm gonna have to. But yeah. Anyway, let's talk about something else. Okay. Oh my God, it's already 35 minutes. I'm so sorry, you guys. I'm just probably rambling. I haven't made a video in so long. There's so many things I want to cover and talk about, and like I said, Deviant Witchery is an amazing show. You will learn so much from their episodes. They are fantastic. They're very knowledgeable. They're very smart, and they know their shit. They do. There's something else I was gonna say that I forgot. There's also a Deviant Witchery Facebook page, but you have to. I'm in it, and you can request, and then you have to be let in by one of the owners, Blythe, Michael, Scarlett, or Nimbus. So I feel bad. I haven't posted anything in there in a while. Just like I said, I've been working like crazy. But there are some more things I wanted to talk about, like spell work and stuff like that, but this video is getting so long already that I'm probably just going to make another one. Yeah. But definitely one of my next videos I'm going to talk about is ancestral work and things around this time of the year. What I'm planning on doing with my picture. Like, I'm not going to go too into detail because some of it is personal. But yeah. I'm definitely going to start working with the Hidden Path Oracle deck from Raven Gramassi. I've had this deck for a while, but I haven't actually used it. I just haven't felt like the timing is right. So, this is the Hidden Path, and there's also the Well-Worn Path,